out today, which we'll be talking about in just a hot second here. Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd, which,
Yes.
if my memory serves me correctly, you said this album was delayed.
It was delayed from last week to this week.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, because the show was supposed to happen last week at the Rose Bowl.
Yes. It was supposed to coincide with the show the release was. But they just pushed it back to put it in the away from the fire stuff, I guess.
Well, the show still isn't happening at the Rose
Right.
Bowl, but the album is still here for us to listen to, which I believe we both have listened to with them.
Yeah, did you listen to this thing?
I did all hour and a half of it.
Yeah, it's really long. Mm, which isn't to say that the last two records, Dawn FM and After Hours, were not long either. They were both very long. But this one takes the cake. You could call this thing a double album and get away with it, I think.
I mean, yeah, especially coming after Dawn FM, where at least there was a through line and I could follow through with it, with the like Jim Carrey radio kind of snippets in between each little segment.
Yeah.
But here, no, it's just all one running long train that just keeps going. And after the first like four songs, which are bangers, it just feels like, okay, where's this train going? Because it goes a little bit over here, a little bit over there. And while some of that does feel good, it's like, oh, I don't know where we're going. But it's also, I don't know where he's going with this.
Yes. And that is the problem that I also had with it too. I think it is much too long to feel like a statement, and it ends up kind of just sounding very samey, especially in the last third of it. By the end of it, I was like, I don't think I could tell you any difference between the last five songs. Um, but you're right. It starts so strong, and I wanted to like it, and I wanted to believe that, okay, we're getting pop Weekend here. But then halfway through, there's a pivot, and he turns into classic Weekend, which is not my favorite kind of Weekend. So, and then there's some guest stuff that doesn't really jibe with me. Like, I don't really care about Future. Why is Future on everything? Future doesn't have to be on everything. Is Future that, like, available that he can just show up on everybody's record? But I don't know. And plus, there's the whole extra layer to it where supposedly this is a soundtrack to a forthcoming movie that was struggling to get distribution for a while, but I think Lionsgate picked it up finally. There's also, this is supposed to be a final statement for The Weeknd as The Weeknd. He said that prior to this release that he was going to retire the Weeknd name, and this would be the last major project. So that's I think why there's a lot of content about death. I think it's
Hmm.
symbolic as opposed to literal. I hope it's not literal. Um,
Oh, come on. Being in
so
the bathtub, letting the water flow over you is not symbolic.
there's some really dark stuff here, but I think that
Yeah.
he's not killing. He's killing the Weeknd, the character, and the identity and alias. And so
Which,
yeah,
if the idol didn't already do that for him.
ooh, boy, yeah, there's probably a lot of things that thing killed. Um, so yeah, it's like it's fine. It's a Weekend record, but it's a lot of it, and I think that a lot of people are going to have a hard time with the marathon feel by the time they get done with it.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't have very much more to add because you can listen to this. I suggest only listening to the first, like I said, 5 to 10 songs, like this album probably
Yeah,
should have been, and then with a
yeah,
deluxe version, everything else, because those first 5 songs are good. It's The Weeknd. It's full force, full synth, what you know The Weeknd for. But like you said, it goes, it zigzags and circles back to like his original stuff, and there's a reason he didn't really make it big with those original stuff until he started making more pop stuff, and that's what people liked. So it's all cyclical and circle, and maybe that's what he's going for, but doesn't quite do it for us here.
yeah. I think that's fair. The Weekend, I'm back and forth with them. And I think where this ultimately lands, if this really is the last statement from the Weekend, ultimately I'm kind of just meh about him.